Today I'm bringing you another version of the CK88. This one is going to be a little historical background. Please stick around and you're going to like what you see. Hi, Ted Barsley with Alamo Piano Galleries. If you haven't already, hey, please subscribe to this channel, especially if you get to see all this action keyboard we're going to be shooting in here in the next couple days. As promised, today, look for us on alamopianogalleries.com, shop our store. Some of these things will be showing up, and we're going to have a whole bunch of vintage synths coming up before too long. There'll be videos to go with that. As promised, I am representing the CK88 today. This was one of my top choices for one of the best keyboards of the year. Actually, it's one of the best keyboards I've seen in a long time. And what I wanted to do today was to start off and give you a little bit of history, and again, just reinforce the value of this keyboard, because it really is, it's just an awesome thing. And in order to get to this awesome thing, I'm gonna cut out a lot of the details and go back to where this thing originated from. The CK88 actually originates from, well, it's kind of like the CP73, but then again, it's got these organ drawbars thing, which it's kind of like the YC61. So what I thought I'd do today is show you a little bit about the YC61, of which I don't know a whole lot, but I've done some research on just some basic facts. And the same thing on the CP73. This one I absolutely loved when it first came out. Everyone did. We sold a lot of them. Half the employees wanted to put one on layaway and pay it out over time, and I think we did sell a couple of them to employees because they weren't even keyboard players, but they wanted to have one of the best keyboards in their home studio to go with their bass and their drums, or go with their guitar and their occasional visiting drummer. So the CP73 sold a lot. They still sell well. Recently, we came out with, from Yamaha, delivered the CK88, and we delivered a video on that as well. What the point I wanted to make here is that if you take these two keyboards and you combine them, and you come out with something that's 88 key that plays like a piano, you get the CK88. And so I want to do a little bit of an individual approach on each one of these to show you the YC61 and the CP73 and the CK88. The YC61 started off as an organ player's portable dream. It replaces a number of organs. It has the Yamaha organ in it. It has the Hammond organ in it. It has a Farfisa organ in it, and it has a Vox organ in it. And not only does it just have these organs, it actually has drawbars, and they work exactly like they do on a B3, a C3, whatever your favorite organ is. You just pull down your stops. The nice thing about it, it's one of the very few portable organ keyboards that actually has the no-edge keyboard, so you can do, I'm not good at it, but you can do swipes, and then you can also speed up and slow down the vibrato. So I said, I'm not real good at organ swipes, and I'm not good at shifting manuals. This is an instrument that really needs to be played by the player. And part of that is on an organ, if you're going for that Hammond or that gospel blues sound, you almost always have to have something depressed on one of the keyboards, a top or second manual, or one of the pedals. And the other hand is mostly for expression, to turn the vibrato on and off, slow it down, make it stop, change the sounds, punch in a different preset and go back to the original. So playing organ is not something that, people say, do you play the organ? It's like, no, I don't. Not the way that someone expects an organ player. I can play it like a piano player, which means it's about as square as you can possibly get. But I can get a sound out of an organ, and I know how to fool around with the sounds. The YC61, not only does it have the organ sounds, you can turn that off, and this is the part where it starts getting into other areas. When you flip the next section over and you turn it on, it is actually a keys section. And you have your choice of piano, electric piano, synth, or others. And others is going to be any kind of pad, slow strings, or anything you get. And these are advanced waveform memory 2 sounds that are in here. With the exception of 9 organ flute sounds on the YC61, everything else comes from the advanced waveform memory 2 sound card. That's what Yamaha put in here. And so when you get to the electric pianos, the pianos including the CP70, like the old Yamaha electric grand, And then also some of these string settings and all this. These go back to the same sound card that is in the next item, the CP73. The CP73 is everything that everyone liked about here. You have an organ section, you have a keyboard section, which is both electronic and digital sounding pianos. And then you also have over here another section. With the keys, you have synths. Then you have all your effects and your speaker controls, different things you can do with the Leslies. This is primarily a organ keyboardist keyboard. And I believe they list for around $2,100. It's a great instrument. We still generate a lot of calls. People still come in and play on this for a long time. The reason why they play on this a long time, they'll play on it longer if you set it up next to a CP73, because these two things set next to one another really give you a powerful keyboard setup, even though you don't have an 88 key. You got your 73 key and your 61 keys here, but this is an organ keyboard, this is a piano keyboard. And it has an advanced waveform memory 2 card in it. They both have 128K polyphony, so does the CK88. So it's the same sound card in all 3 of these and the same polyphony on all 3 of these, and the prices change on each one. There are different professional level applications based on how someone plays, the kind of music they're doing, the kind of production, and it's just kind of related. The CP73 is mostly going to give you all of your keyboard sounds and the ability to split some of those out, where you can have acoustic pianos, then you can have an electric, and you can have a synth behind it, and then you can go in and put some effects on everything. And you also have individual ways on each one of those 3 settings for sounds that you have. You can set up what octave you're playing on if you want to split it, and how loud or soft you want each one of those sections. It's a little more complicated to learn the YC61 and to learn the CP73, and to get extremely proficient in all the depths of the level of their programming is really phenomenal. But if you just wanted to make a lot of music and not get into a lot of the geekdom of what a synthesizer is like and what the keyboard is like and what the organ is like, the CK88 has all of these built into one package. So you have the organ side complete with the pull-down stops. So you have your stop pull-downs, your drawbar pull-downs, and you also have a really nice, easy 3-band mixer that mixes the organ, the keys, and the synth sounds on here. This is a phenomenal keyboard, and we're gonna get back to it and listen to a couple of the sounds. We're gonna probably start just giving you some B-reel footage of the YC61 and some overall sounds, and the same thing with the CP73. And the CK88 I've already demoed. I'm gonna try to talk them into let me doing some new stuff in it, but we'll see how that goes. As we were before and during production of this video, we got into conversation about the Yamaha Reface. The Reface was a series of keyboards. I believe they made 4 of them. And they came in multicolors. They were almost like, I think they called them flavors even. But anyway, that was nice about them is they had one that was a YC that was geared toward Yamaha organs. And then they had like a CP version, which was geared toward Yamaha keyboards. And then they had a DX version, which was based on Yamaha's digital synthesized programming. And then they had another that was a CS, which was based on their synthesizer line, which was a lot along of the really cool sounds from the CS80, 50, and 30 were in there, as well as some other Yamaha synths. The first thing I saw that looked like a Reface resurface that I recognized right away was the CP73. It was like taking 2 or 3 of those Refaces and putting them into a larger keyboard component with the exact same sound card. Speaking of sound card, I want to mention this. All 3 of these have the advanced waveform memory 2 sound card in it. The one exception is the YC61 has 9 special flute sounds in it that are included on the CK88. So it's almost the identical card that you have in all 3 of these, with the exception being the better organ flute sounds that are manipulated by the drawbars are on both the CK88 and the YC61. The other thing I wanted to mention, since we're here, and I only mentioned it on 1 or 2 of these, originally this had around a $2,000 price tag on it. This one was around $2,100, and currently this comes in at $1,499. So the CK88, as I mentioned in my leader teaser, is a phenomenal value for the money. You're getting the best of the sounds that Yamaha has had in the last 8 to 12 years. And they've updated it into a format that is most desirable. We've had a couple drummers, a few bass players, and a lot of production guys come in and buy these keyboards, and they don't even play keyboards. They bought it based on the sound quality and the reviews. If you have any questions or comments other than this last thing I have to say, you're going to need some kind of audio system to listen to these 2. Headphones, amplifier, and speakers. Whereas another added value, the CK88, comes contained with its own speaker system, its own onboard monitors, and it is a phenomenal keyboard. If you haven't played one, go out and play one. If you're fortunate enough, you can find where you can compare this to a CP73, a YC61, and if you're really, take the CK88 and compare it to any of the competition, including any competitor keyboards that cost twice as much, and I think you're going to have a hard time deciding against the CK88. I'm a big proponent of it. I picked it as one of my favorites, and we get a lot of traffic based on it. Thank you for your time and effort. This is Ted Barsley with Alamo Piano Galleries. I thank you for your interest in keyboards, and please give some of your knowledge, your experience, especially your experience with any of these keyboards. Give it back to us in terms of suggestions, comments, or any kind of questions we can generate. And like always, correct me where I'm wrong on anything I said today, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time right here at Alamo Piano Galleries. Take care.